Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Melena Brown. Alex is off today. We have 3 quick stories to get your day started. The new Camp Snoopy at Kings Island has an opening date. You can join Snoopy and Beagle Scouts next Friday, May 24th. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we've been showing some progress over the last couple of weeks, and this is kind of the last big element of Kings Island's opening.
Yeah, when I was there for the opening day preview, we got a little sneak peek and it looked really awesome.
You got to meet Snoopy. What did he say?
Well, he didn't say much, but he said he was very excited for it to open.
He went, There you go. And Bike to Work Day is this Friday. To mark the occasion, Five Rivers Metro Parks is offering free pancakes, live music, and a cycling expo that morning at Riverscape Metro Park.
Flying? What is? They're gonna throw the pancake at you?
No, free pancake. I said free, right?
It says free flying pancakes.
Oh, I didn't even see the flying part. I don't know.
Interesting.
I mean, if you're biking to work, that was an interesting move right there.
I'm just saying, if it's flying through the air, how else are you supposed to get it?
I don't know. I gotta live a little bit,
well,
live a little bit.
I'll find out.
Tage will find out. He'll get out there.
You're right. And get your bags, it's cornhole season. Dayton Beer Company is holding their first tournament of the year this Sunday. You can sign up at the bar by Saturday to participate. Are you good?
I am pretty good.
I'm pretty good too.
Yeah.
We should have a little competition.
I mean, we're a couple Midwesterners.
A couple previous college students as well.
I was gonna say, like, I've played a lot. I save most of mine for when I go to Michigan during the summers, but yeah.
This and beer pong, no beer.
Is that? Oh yeah. I mean, that was a thing. I'm too old for that now.
No, I have fun with it.
Yeah.
Me and my dad used to be partners.
You're still a young pup.
Good bond. Yeah.
Good for you.
Here's a live look over Dayton this morning. We're waking up to some rain in the area.
Yeah, unfortunately, and that rain could follow us throughout the rest of the day. Let's check in with meteorologist Nick Maruziak with a look at your forecast. Nick?
Well, we are surrounded right now by rain. Columbus, Indianapolis, down towards Cincinnati, continuing to see rain. As for the Miami Valley itself, we do have some scattered showers now moving through the northern part, or I guess you would say northwestern part of Sydney. So the Panhandle, if you will, and
the Republican nominee for president. I'm leading in every poll, and I have a gag order. So I think it's totally unconstitutional, and we'll test that. This will be tested.
Day 17 of former President Trump's criminal hush money trial wrapping up yesterday as former Trump attorney Michael Cohen took the stand again. Trump's attorneys pressed Cohen about his fallout with the former president and the money he's made by speaking out against his former client. Trump's team is aiming to paint Cohen as a witness motivated by fame and attacking his credibility after the disbarred attorney served jail time.
A judge says Hunter Biden's federal gun case will go to trial next month after his legal team tried to delay the prosecution. His lawyers asked to push the trial to September, arguing the defense needed time to line up witnesses and go through evidence. Prosecutors allege the president's son lied about his drug use to buy a gun in October of 2018 and unlawfully possessed the gun for 11 days. Hunter Biden has pleaded not guilty to all 3 felony counts. The gun trial is slated to begin in early June.
Russian troops are making headway in areas near Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city after Kyiv. A top Ukrainian general said on Monday the military is confronting a critical situation. The attacks near Kharkiv have led to the capture of 9 settlements, causing civilians to flee. The U.S. says that recent pause in Western assistance hasn't helped.
Won't recount the last 6 to 8 months on the battlefield, but needless to say, it was not helpful to have this pause in security assistance. Clearly, you've got other partners around the world that are providing aid to Ukraine, but the Russians have exploited the situation on the battlefield.
The $60 billion worth of weapons from the U.S. is slowly getting into Ukraine. The defenses are outnumbered and are facing critical weapon shortages.
Here's what we're looking at for right now. I believe it's just overcast in Dayton itself, but there is some scattered showers. We are going to be looking at the scattered showers continuing at times and just cloudy skies, therefore, as we get into the evening. It's not until overnight tonight that we'll really start to break up the cloud cover. And from that point on, we are going to continue to see temperatures basically rise to average to even above average over the next few days. So at least we're going to have that going for us across the area. Tomorrow night, though, it's more showers possible. That'll continue into Friday. So it's going to be a wet couple of days upcoming. 69 degrees. As for tonight, we will have temperatures mid-50s. It'll become clear by the morning. Tomorrow itself, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s. Call it a mix of sun and clouds. Rest of the forecast, low 70s and showers on Friday. Saturday, more rain is possible. And then from there, it does look like Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday will be near 80 degrees. As for this morning, okay, we've actually got a visual of the incident over by, this is actually between Stanley and State Road 4. So there you see it. It does look like an overturned semi in that area. You have multiple emergency responders on the scene. Here's the good news, though. It does seem like it is moving. They are not diverting traffic as of right now onto State Road 4. But again, it does look like an overturned semi is the reason that at one time the interstate was shut down. And right for now, it is lanes closed. So we'll try and get some more information on when they expect to move that semi. But right now, that does look like it could be a problem as we get into the later morning commute.
The White House announcing new tariffs on Chinese imports of electric vehicles and batteries. National correspondent Matt Galka explains how the trade war with China could also be a political play for the election.
They're not competing. It's not competition. It's cheating.
Cheap electric vehicles, batteries, chips, and materials coming from China will be hit with new tariffs. The president touted the new fees as a way to build up made in the USA industries, focusing on electric cars that can be built domestically instead of cheaper imports that could hurt American business.
We're never going to allow China to unfairly control the market for these cars, period.
Tariffs on electric vehicles will go from 25% to 100%. Semiconductors and solar cells will double from 25 to 50% tariffs. Some medical supplies will jump to 50% from zero, and some Chinese steel and aluminum will be hit with a 25% tariff. About $18 billion of annual Chinese imported goods will be impacted.
He wants to put a big tariff on China, which is a suggestion that I said, where have you been for 3.5 years? They should have done it a long time ago.
The new fees expand on tariffs Donald Trump put into place in 2018. Then candidate Joe Biden criticized the tariffs when he ran for the White House. Both the president and former president are trying to emphasize domestic production as they head into the November election. China expert Gordon Chang says politics are at play with the announcement of the tariffs now.
It's really good that the U.S. is increasing tariffs on China's green goods. But if President Biden were serious, he would have done this a long time ago. The fact that this is so close to the November election really casts doubts on his motivation.
Tensions were already high with the U.S. and China before the latest tariffs intensified the trade war. China's Commerce Ministry opposed the hikes and said the country would defend its interests before urging the Biden administration to, quote, correct its wrongdoing. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Our time right now is 5:16, still to come.
A breast cancer journey that led her to a team of radiologists that she said made all the difference. I'm Liz Bonus. We share new information and new technology that is changing lives. It is just ahead.
You're watching Your Day. Experts say 2024 tornado season has the second most reported tornadoes on record. That's according to the Storm Prediction Center, saying there have been at least 781 tornado reports through May 13th. That stands behind only 2011, which had more than 1,300 by this date. Records go back to 1950. According to the center, the average number of tornado reports through May 13th is 620, making this year well above average.
All right, time for Pet of the Day here on Your Day. At least today, we won't have to contend with any type of severe weather. It is worth pointing out that we are going to continue, though, with the potential for not only some rain, but actually some periods of heavy rain. Memphis Belle joining us today. And you notice I put yellow pause. Frankly, after all the rain that we saw yesterday and all the rain that we do expect today, I don't think there's going to be a great period to be outside. It's just one of those days where I think the muddy paws are going to be a little bit on the problematic side. Now, that all being said, I still think there's going to be plenty of windows during the daytime today where there could be time to get outside and enjoy it. But again, if you are going to enjoy it, you're going to have to wipe the paws a lot here, if not the bellies, depending on your dog and unfortunately how much muddy it is going to be. All right, on the roads this morning, did confirm with dispatch that there was a single semi that has rolled over. There was an earlier leak. They have since gotten crews on the scene. They're not quite sure when they're going to be able to get the semi out of it. Now, traffic is moving around it. So you have the contraflow lane, you have the other lanes there. I'm not sure if that's actually State Road 4 that people are getting on, but either way, I do think right now, if you can, maybe wise to start thinking about alternate routes around the 75 South, Ohio 48. It is a little bit backed up further to the south, so just keep that in mind, further north. So just keep in mind as you try and get to downtown, it'd be slower going.
A deadline is approaching for a new worldwide pandemic agreement created by the World Health Organization. The WHO wants a global pact to fight future pandemics, but some countries, including some in the U.S., are resisting. The reason is that the pandemic agreement would give the WHO unprecedented power, including on lockdowns and forcing some countries to give vaccines up to other countries. Negotiations are continuing. There's a wave of lawsuits saying video games are addicting kids. Bloomberg reports attorneys for parents say publishers are addicting users and they're causing health issues like ADHD and depression. Parents' attorneys are attempting to have more than a dozen of these video game addiction lawsuits filed together before a single federal judge in Utah by the end of the month. Kraft Heinz is looking to sell Oscar Mayer, the big maker of hot dogs, cold cuts, and bacon. It could be worth as much as $3 billion. Kraft Heinz is trying to improve the nutrition of its food. It's aiming to offer healthier options amid rising concern about ultra-processed foods, obesity, and chronic disease. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
A breast cancer survivor wants you to know wherever you are in the journey, you're not alone. Medical reporter Liz Bonus shares how she says a team of angels and high-tech medicine helped her along the way.
Hey there, everybody. Her breast cancer journey led her to a radiation team that she says sort of became like her family. But newer technology and newer techniques in this field are healing in a lot of ways.
Kathy Bauer was so grateful the day she got to ring the bell here at Ohio's Bethesda North Hospital. It signified successfully that she'd completed chemotherapy. And even with radiation yet to come, as this demonstration shows, she says she'd already realized.
The profound thing of this journey for me was that I realized I'm not doing this alone.
Dr. Tasneem Kaleem, a radiation oncologist, says that's exactly the goal of precision medicine. Personalized treatment with an entire team to meet your needs.
In her case, we knew up front clinically she had lymph nodes, so you always have radiation afterwards.
Radiation therapy reduces recurrence risk. It delivers a high-energy X-ray to a very specific target. But with precision medicine,
the way that we actually determine the target is we have the patient come in and do something called a CT simulation, which is basically a planning scan where we map everything out, and that takes about an hour. Once we have that mapping scan, then we actually can design the radiation specifically to her anatomy.
They also designed a very specific breathing technique for Kathy to limit risk to surrounding organs.
And by doing that, the heart actually moves out of the radiation field.
For Kathy, it worked. She is now cancer-free. She says only once did she ask God why this all happened to her. Her answer?
It was along the lines of, because you need to keep my angels doing their job. And when you think about who are the angels, all our nurses and technologists and my doctors, they're all my angels. They're doing their jobs.
Kathy does now go for regular follow-ups. She encourages all of us to do the same. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
People will soon have to worry about heat as they age. A new study says by 2050, more than a fifth of Earth's population will be over 60 years old. With climate change making the planet warmer, older people will be at higher risk of health problems from acute and chronic heat. People sweat less effectively as they age, and their instincts to drink water also stop. The number of people at risk worldwide from extreme heat is set to at least double over the next 25 years. It's an even bigger issue in Europe, where the population is aging more quickly and climate is heating up faster than the planet's average.
A brush fire in Florida is now forcing people to leave their homes. Highlands County Fire Rescue evacuated homes in the area yesterday as the 300-acre fire closed roads. The blaze is 20% contained. A shelter is available to those who need it as people are asked to avoid the area.
Our time right now is 5:26. Ohio could be just a few weeks away from the first legal sale of recreational marijuana. We've got the latest on the meetings in Columbus next.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Melina Brown. Alex is off this morning. We have 3 stories to get your day started. Get ready to bend and snap. Reese Witherspoon will produce a Legally Blonde prequel series. Elle follows Elle Woods through her time in high school. She needs her daughter to play her. Have you seen her daughter?
No, she
They're
look
identical.
just like her?
They're literally twins.
Well, Reese Witherspoon's an American treasure,
Yes.
so I could see how, yeah.
She's a true Southern belle.
I don't know. We'll see how this turns out, but I mean, I feel like this would be an interesting one. So
Yeah, it'll be a lot of millennials
we're just
who love
doing
it.
we're doing prequels to everything.
Let's
Why
get
not?
some new stuff, you know?
It's not going to happen. King Charles just unveiled the first portrait of himself since the coronation. The abstract painting shows the king in the uniform of Welsh guards against a red backdrop and a butterfly landing on his shoulder. Queen Camilla says the artist captured her husband. This is interesting.
I don't like it. It's giving Hunger Games.
Yeah, oh, you're right. Yeah, I would not have thought about that. It definitely is very, not the right side of the monarchy.
Yeah.
But it is a monarch landing on the monarchy.
That's pretty cool, creative, but I did see somebody say, oh, it's a lot of bloodshed.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Red's a little jarring.
A customer in Pittsburgh says their local McDonald's is now charging for refills, but don't worry, it's not a nationwide policy. A rep for the company says charging for refills is being left up to individual restaurants. This is so ridiculous. It costs what it costs to run a McDonald's, this is probably 0.001% of what it costs for them.
I feel like a lot of these like mega companies are just getting greedy at this point.
Yeah, like the whole, I mean, the Wendy's thing, oh, we're going to fluctuate our, like, come on.
They got to get their bag, I guess, because they're already not rich enough.
Yeah, sure.
It's nonsense.
Okay. Here's a live look over Dayton this morning. We're waking up to some rain in the area.
Yeah, and the rain could follow us throughout the day. Let's check in with meteorologist Nick Maruziak. And Nick, it is nasty.
Yeah, it's not been a fun 24 to 48 hours here. We've continued to see cloudy skies and the rain basically since last morning. The rain has continued on again, off again. I was outside yesterday evening from about 4 to 6 p.m. and it was just drizzling and just wasn't particularly that fun. The rain continues right now up in the Mercer County area, right over, I would say, just to the east of St. Henry, over by Wabash and Chickasaw area. So there is at least some shower activity this morning. I do think this morning will continue with the threat of a few showers, especially as we get later morning hours. As for temperatures, somewhere between mid to upper 60s, so not particularly that warm either. And today could be similar to yesterday, where we never quite did get to the 70-degree mark. Meanwhile, if you're traveling, we do have one issue, and it is, well, I'm not going to say a huge issue, but it's definitely slowing things down. So this is right now as you head downtown from let's see, that is 75. So this is over by Grand Ave. Right now there is an overturned semi in the left lane that's blocking things and forcing traffic either into that contraflow lane or into the right lane. It is a backup, so it is backing up, maybe not necessarily Wagner Ford, but back towards Stanley. So keep in mind, if you travel this route, I-75 South is going to be slower going here for the next little bit until they get that semi that overturned and did have a leak earlier on this morning.
New video into our newsroom shows the moments a security guard escaped being shot. Check out this footage from an Amazon warehouse near Columbus. While no one is hurt, we want to warn you, the video may be disturbing to some. The guard had been training the shooter 2 weeks before the shooting. You could see the shooter, Ali Hamza Youssef, pointing a gun at the guard. The victim told dispatchers he'd been shot at twice, but the shooter missed. One officer was injured in the shootout with the suspect. That officer is now out of the hospital.
Ohio could be just a few weeks away from the first sale of recreational marijuana. A joint committee in Columbus just gave the green light to the state's dual licensing program. That'll let current medical marijuana dispensaries sell recreational pot. Kaveh Adzi, co-founder of the King City Gardens, has been at those meetings with lawmakers. He says while September is when all of the recreational sales go live, this change will let current dispensaries to sell recreational marijuana as soon as June 14th. Today is one of the state's largest cannabis companies is planning to let its first recreational cannabis crop. Cresco Labs in Yellow Springs is about to plant 1,000 seedlings of different strains in their indoor greenhouse. They expect to produce more than 400 pounds of plant material to be sold across the state.
A new report from the FBI shows assaults on law enforcement reached a 10-year high last year. Researchers say there were more than 79,000 officer attacks in 2023. At least 466 of those involved firearms. 10 years ago, that number was under 200. And over the last 10 years, the average officer who was assaulted had nearly 12 years experience on the job. Between 2019 and 2023, more than 230 officers were accidentally killed in the line of duty. Most died in car crashes on or by being hit by a vehicle.
A whistleblower is now saying that the EPA made mistakes during the fiery East Palestine train derailment. The whistleblower tells the Associated Press that the agency's specialized plan could have given important information about the disaster immediately after it happened, adding it would have prevented the controlled explosion. The NTSB has since determined it wasn't necessary. Instead, the plane collected data after the vent and burn 4 days after the crash. EPA officials declared success after the plan did not find many chemicals in the air.
The state's first ever Buc-ee's is coming to the Miami Valley. The convenience store just cleared its final hurdle.
Jenny Borick tells us what's next.
Huber Heights Planning Commission approved the detailed development plan at Tuesday night's meeting, which means Buc-ee's can now continue into the construction phase. A 74,000 square foot Buc-ee's is on its way to Huber Heights. The convenience store's detailed development plan was laid out by the city's planner, Aaron Sorrell of the Planning Commission. The plan detailing parking, lighting, retention ponds, landscaping, signage, outdoor sales, building entrances, and you guessed it, traffic flow.
We need our people to be able to get in safely and conveniently. And so working with them, looking at the projections, whether it be 20, 30, 40 years out, in order to assess how this is going to operate for now and then in the future.
Ratcliffe tells me the next steps will be getting those permits that Buc-ee's needs, and a lot of work will have to be done with the Department of Transportation. Back to you.
Our time right. My apologies.
No, go ahead.
5:36. Don't forget to get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather right here on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Brand new numbers giving us a snapshot of the U.S. economy. I'm Christine Frizzell with what they're already telling us about interest rates in the months ahead.
You're watching Your Day.
All right, temperatures this morning, 50s and 60s. There you see, we're playing, but I enjoyed that a little bit too much because this map was popping up the temperatures kind of as sporadically. And yeah, as for this morning, it's low 60s and upper 50s. So very similar to yesterday, maybe just a couple degrees warmer if we're splitting hairs, but for all intents and purposes, very similar start. And I could see today being pretty similar. The only thing that I wonder about is do we pop the upper 60s? And I think we've got a shot at that. I think we could actually hit 70 if we don't see a whole lot of showers, but still with the threat of showers and the cloudy skies, therefore, I could see today just being almost a repeat of yesterday, where if you're reminded, we started low 60s, got into mid 60s by mid-morning, so around 64 at 9 a.m., and then upper 60s, and we just flatlined all day. Could be very similar to that during the afternoon and evening for today. We continue with the same system.
The Pentagon says the U.S. will help deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza through the Cyprus Maritime Corridor in the coming days. Pentagon Press Secretary Major General Patrick Ryder says officials will bring aid to the beach in the Strip.
I'm not going to get into specific dates, but in the coming days, you can expect to see this effort underway. And we are confident that we will be able to, working with our NGO partners, ensure that aid can be delivered.
Ryder says the World Food Program will take control of the aid once it's assured in Gaza and give it to people in need.
Almost 450,000 people who have fled Rafah over the last week lack shelter, water, and toilets. That's according to the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine. Refugees on Tuesday, the agency reported families continue to flee Rafah in search of safety, including to rubble and sand dunes. The report said that families are arriving at sites that lack shelter, toilets, and water points. The UN called for Israel to do more to protect aid trucks from violent Israeli settlers and to ensure that all allegations of settler violence are investigated and the offenders be prosecuted.
The Biden administration has started the lengthy process to approve a new $1 billion arms deal for Israel. Two congressional sources confirmed the news yesterday. The State Department has now opened discussions with Congress about the possible sale due to the informal notification on Tuesday. There's no set timeline for when Congress would officially be notified of the sale, but the lengthy process would require congressional approval.
New numbers giving us a picture of what to expect from the U.S. economy as we head into summer. Here's national correspondent Christine Frizzell with what we're learning.
It's a game of numbers. No one seems to be winning. The brand new Producer Price Index, which shows how much manufacturers pay their suppliers, just hit its highest rate in a year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
And what this indicates is that a lot of the progress that we've seen in slowing inflation, that stalled in early 2024.
Known as wholesale inflation, the April rate rose 2.2%, with costs expected to be passed on to consumers in the months ahead, following 3 months of less than ideal numbers.
We did not expect this to be a smooth road, but these were higher than I think anybody expected.
Speaking in Amsterdam, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell signaled the waiting game for interest rates to be cut will likely go on even longer.
I don't think that it's likely, based on the data that we have, that the next move that we make would be a rate hike. I think it's more likely that we'll be at a place where we hold the policy rate where it is.
Words like sticky and stubborn, now common ways to characterize what's known as services inflation with what we pay for things like medical care, car repairs, and travel. Another worrying sign is what Americans owe on housing and non-housing expenses, known as household debt, which has been on a steady climb, just reaching $17.7 trillion. The labor market is still incredibly tight, with a shortage of workers, but many of those who are working still struggle to make ends meet.
The cost of living in many areas is very high, and it is a concern to Americans. And it is President Biden's top priority to do all he can to bring down the cost of living.
We will have an even clearer picture of inflation on Wednesday with the release of the Consumer Price Index, which is what U.S. consumers pay for everyday goods and services. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Our time right now is 5:44, still to come.
I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at why more women are working now than at any time. U.S. history.
You're watching Your Day.
the Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeffschmidt Auto Group.
The cargo ship that caused the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore had another power outage hours before it was set to leave the port. Federal investigators say a crew member on the Dolly accidentally closed an exhaust damper, causing the ship's engine to stall about 10 hours before it left the port. The Dolly lost power again and crashed into one of the bridge's support beams. We won't have the final report from regulators for at least a year.
The Justice Department says Boeing violated a 2021 agreement, one that shielded the company from criminal charges related to fatal crashes involving its 737 MAX aircraft. According to the Justice Department, the airplane manufacturer failed to make changes to it to prevent it from violating federal anti-fraud laws, the condition of the $2.5 billion settlement. The Justice Department says that this means Boeing could be subject to prosecution, but the government is still figuring out how to proceed. Boeing responding to the Justice Department's claim, saying they believe they've honored the terms of that agreement and look forward to being able to formally respond to the department.
More women are working now than at any time in our country's history. Janae Bowen joins us with a closer look at the trend.
Women are really boosting our economy.
The most recent jobs report was a win for women in the workforce.
75.5% of women ages 25 to 54 have a job. That's the highest average on record. And there's a few reasons why.
Over the last 2 decades, the share of prime-age women with a college degree has risen significantly.
Financial necessity. It's hard to run a household with one income anymore. And women just like to have something to do besides raise a family.
Thanks to remote and hybrid work, women, especially working moms, have more options.
While women still take on the majority of caregiving responsibilities, college-educated women are more likely to stay in the workforce after having a child than compared to 20 years ago.
Despite the growth, there are still a few barriers. Some women are only able to work part-time because of high childcare costs.
People are having to rely on neighbors, almost like daycare co-ops, other family members, their spouse, their partner, and they're having to patch together childcare.
Experts say more companies are considering on-site childcare to help.
Employers are starting to realize that if we don't cater to women and give women what they need, they won't come, or they won't come and stay. And with the labor force participation of men dropping, you immediately limit your talent pool.
As more women are working, more men aren't working. Physical and mental health issues play a huge role in that decrease. I'm Janae Bowens reporting.
Do you have an Android phone and tired of getting scam calls? Google is now working on a new AI-powered scam call detection feature to protect users from phone scams. The call monitoring feature will warn you if the person on the phone is likely attempting to scam you. Android users will get alerts during the call when red flags are detected, encouraging them to hang up the phone. Google plans to announce more information on the feature that'll be available later this year.
Our time right now is 5:50. An unexpected actor set to be the newest live-action Spider-Man. Coming up, details on Nick Cage's first ever TV show. What?
You're watching Your Day.
Here's what we're looking at for right now. Cloudy skies across the area. We do continue to see the threat for showers moving in across the Miami Valley all the way through the afternoon and evening. Don't really see it being prolific in a sense of how much water we get, but there could be some periods where it does come down. Now notice some temperatures, upper 60s and low 70s. Based on yesterday, I have kept temperatures in the upper 60s, but there is certainly every chance that if we don't get a whole lot of rain and maybe get a little pocket of blue sky, that's a lot of maybes, but we could actually get into the low 70s. So realm of possibilities. Meantime, tomorrow morning, starting out mid 50s. So it's going to be a cool start right about this time. By the time we get towards 8, 9 in the morning, should be able to get to around 60. So for all intents and purposes, it may be a wash compared to this time, or should I say 8, 9 in the morning comparatively. As for tomorrow, a much warmer day overall, highs upper 70s. We will have the threat of rain as we get into Thursday night. Probably not until Friday morning do we start to see more numerous showers start to move in. And then from there, I think it's Friday afternoon, Friday evening, or we are going to have some of the bigger threat of rain. Again, upper 60s and low 70s for today. Just based on yesterday, I've been a little bit more cautious about how warm we can get. Beyond that, temperatures are going to stay, let's say, mid to upper 70s throughout the next few days. It is worth pointing out that Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday all could be 80 degrees plus across the area. Now, on the roads this morning, we have one pretty, I'm going to call it a major issue. So there was a semi that it looks like has hit or is in the median still. Now, there are a ton of emergency vehicles, but look at the delay that's right now caused over by Stanley. And again, this is right now at 5:55. You can imagine as we get to 8, 9 this morning, if that is still around, this is going to cause a major headache. So for right now, again, I-75, there are 2 right lanes open, but there is also that contraflow lane. If you can avoid that, I may suggest it here for the next 90 minutes or so. Now, optimistically, they may be able to get it out of here, but again, it is very slow going through the heart of downtown.
Inappropriate behavior now leading to a temporary shutdown of a new and popular tourist attraction. Operations halted yesterday at 2 new public sculptures called the Portals. Recent social media videos have shown people flashing body parts to tourists in the other city. According to the Dublin City Council, an investigation is underway to find solutions to the inappropriate behavior committed by a small number of visitors. While the creators of the sculpture work out a solution, both portals will remain off.
The first flight of Boeing's Starliner into space is on hold yet again. Engineers are pushing back the mission at least another week after workers found a small helium leak. Boeing and NASA are developing tests and solutions for the leak. The next possible launch would be next Tuesday at the absolute earliest.
The mothers of a former Miss USA and former Miss Teen USA are speaking publicly. This comes days after Miss USA and Miss Teen USA resigned. They claim their daughters can't speak out due to non-disclosure agreements. Voight's mother said her daughter was approached by a man who asked her if she was into old men with money. That's in line with Voight's resignation letter, which claimed the organization didn't give her appropriate travel accommodations and left her alone in a car with a stranger.
Last year's Golden Bachelor gave 72-year-old Jerry Turner a shot at love. Now it's a woman's turn. How about that? Joan Vassos will star in the first ever season of The Golden Bachelorette. This fall, Vassos was one of the contestants on The Golden Bachelor. The 61-year-old was a fan favorite, but had to leave the show early when her daughter had health issues. Vassos is a widow who was married for 32 years. She has 4 children and 2 grandchildren.
Nicolas Cage is taking on a decidedly darker version of Spider-Man. The Oscar winner is set to star in a new series called Noir, an adaptation of the Spider-Man Noir comic books from Marvel. It will mark Cage's first series regular role on TV. According to the announcement, Noir is set in the 1930s New York and follows a down-on-his-luck private investigator who's forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero. Noir is one of many alternate versions of Spider-Man. The character appeared in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and was voiced by Cage. This is so interesting.
I'm gonna find the Declaration of Independence.
That's pretty good.
So
as a Spider-Man.
So let me ask.
Didn't he play a vampire too?
Yes.
Is this like So he's retired from being Spider-Man, and now he's having to grapple with it. Like he's having, what, like an old life crisis?
An old life crisis, I guess so.
Hey, whatever suits him.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
There's so many spiders in the Spider-Verse.
Dude, yeah, and now we have, I did not know we needed this, but apparently we do. We got a lot more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
115 is planning a new rehab center in the Dayton area. Coming up, the impact it'll have on the area.
You're watching Your Day. Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Elena Brown. Alex is off today. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. The new Camp Snoopy at Kings Island finally has an opening date. You can join Snoopy and the Beagle Scouts next Friday, May 24th. Only a little over a week.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is going to be quite the vibe. They got a new roller coaster out there, the Soapbox Derby. And yeah, this is going to be tons of, I mean, who doesn't love Snoopy?
I know.
Tons of fun.
Get your blue ice cream, which I am now addicted to.
You love it.
So
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
But this is also just so fun for summer. Like, who doesn't love like the idea of going to camp and you're already at an amusement park? Like, they nailed this theme.
I smell an assignment for you next week. There you go. And Bike to Work Day is this Friday. To mark the occasion, Five Rivers Metro Parks is offering free pancakes, flying pancakes apparently, live music, and a cycling expo that morning at Riverscape Metro Park.
I don't miss the details.
Do you bike?
I used to, but I actually would like to buy a bike because I do like riding a bike.
I have one with a trailer on the back.
For your kids?
Yeah.
That's so
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, well, my 7-year-old, he rides his bike, but the 3-year-old sits in the back.
Enjoys the
Well,
ride.
I don't know if he enjoys it, but he sits there. He's ready to jump out and run.
Sounds wild. Get your bags ready. It's cornhole season. Dayton Beer Company is holding their first tournament of the year this Sunday. You can sign up at the bar by Saturday to participate. Let's see your best form.
Do you have like a technique?
I fold it.
Fold it?
Yes, you fold the bag slightly.
Interesting.
You got to get low, and it's all about the wrist.
I like to grab by the corner and do a little fling up in the air.
The corner allows too much, too much to go wrong.
I bet I'd beat you. I think we need to try this out. I think it's game time.
Here's a live look over Dayton this morning. We're waking up to, unfortunately, some rain in the area.
Yeah, not good cornhole weather. Let's check in with meteorologist Nick Maruziak. And Nick, yeah, we'd like that sun back whenever you get a chance. minutes.
I'll work on it, Nathan. Just like I'm going to work on my memoir. That'll get done in the next 30 years. As for this morning, we are going to continue with the showers. Right for now, a little bit of a lull here in Dayton. It's more just sprinkles, but we do have some rain out to the west and to the east. As for this morning, generally speaking, cloudy, sprinkles, drizzle. Just every once in a while, you're going to get like what we did yesterday, where it's going to be more just the moisture wringing itself out. Now, that all being said, very similar temperature profile to yesterday. The only difference may be this afternoon and evening. If we could get a pocket or two of sunshine, big if, but it's possible we could actually get temperatures in the 70s. Now, if you are traveling, we do have an update on our roads, and that's I-75 South. It is shut down right now at State Road 48, so that's due to an earlier semi crash. That semi is actually on the top left part of your screen, and you can see traffic all the way back. Now, I will point out the left contraflow lane is open, so technically speaking, I think I-75 South is open, but what I believe they're doing is, if you're in the two right lanes, they're diverting you onto State Road 4 and then having you go maneuver. But for right now, again, according to OGO, I-75 South is completely shut down right around the Grand Ave State Road 4 exit.
We're getting an update this morning on former President Jimmy Carter's health. His grandson, Jason Carter, says Carter is nearing the end of his life. Jason says his grandfather is doing okay, adding, quote, "There's a part of that faith journey that you can only live at the very end, and I think he has been there in that space." The 39th president has been in hospice for about a year and a half. At 99 years old, he's the oldest living president in history. His wife, Rosalind Carter, died in November. Her funeral was President Carter's final public appearance.
The man arrested in connection with human legs being found in Trotwood is now pleaded not guilty. 56-year-old Edgar Kiter Jr. was in court yesterday. Now, Kiter Jr. was facing multiple charges, including gross abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and theft. He remains in the Montgomery County Jail on a $500,000 bond.
We now know the name of the man that was shot and killed in Kettering. Coroners have identified him as 67-year-old Leo August. His son, Justin August, is now facing charges of murder and felonious assault in connection to his death. The 35-year-old remains in Montgomery County Jail on a $1 million bond. He'll be back in court next Monday.
RI International announcing it will no longer provide mental health crisis services for Adamus. That includes a 24/7 crisis call center, a mobile assessment team, and short-term behavioral health crisis care. Their contract was supposed to end at the end of this month, but now they're stopping next Wednesday. Commissioners clarified they don't directly fund RI International's contract. Money comes from Human Services levy funding plus state and federal grants.
The Republican nominee for president, I'm leading in every poll, and I have a gag order. So I think it's totally unconstitutional, and we'll test that. This will be tested.
Day 17 of former President Trump's criminal hush money trial wrapping up yesterday as former Trump attorney Michael Cohen took the stand again. Trump's attorneys pressed Cohen about his fallout with the former president and the money he's made by speaking out about his former client. Trump's team is aiming to paint Cohen as a witness motivated by fame and attacking his credibility after the disbarred attorney served jail time.
Adamus executive director saying in part, quote, "We encourage residents in need to continue using services. Adamus is currently in communication with multiple providers and seamless transition of services."
115 Dayton is continuing their mission of giving people hope by building a new recovery house for men.
Kasha Hancock shares the impact it'll have on the area.
115 tells me they're extremely excited about the new recovery house here on Hopeland Street. They say this has been years in the making. The outpatient clinic says there is a huge need for recovery housing, not just here in Dayton, but across the state. They tell me Ohio is only meeting 31% of its recovery housing need. The more than 2,200 square foot house will be an energy efficient home, serving men who are recovering from substance use disorders by offering all of 115 services. Jared Embry of 115 tells me they couldn't be happier to see this idea come to life.
More than a decade ago, this is something that I remember sitting around with people saying, wouldn't it be great if Dayton had something like this? And in a few months, we're going to stand in that building.
115 says the $500,000 energy efficient recovery house is expected to be completed by January 2025. I'll have more information about 115 and the new recovery house in the web version of this story on Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Our time right now is 6:07. Don't forget, you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
I'm Jeff Harris in Washington. Experts say something needs to be done to stop online child abuse. We explain what you can do to keep your kids safe. Coming up.
You're watching Your Day.
We have a bit of breaking traffic news as we come on the air this morning. There's a developing situation creating some headaches for drivers on 75 South heading towards downtown at this hour. You take a left, look at the top left corner. That's I-75 at State Route 4. And it's kind of hard to see here, but they're working on cleaning up a semi crash. There's also been a bit of a spill with some oil there as well. You can see the single lane moving along just fine. It's those right lanes there that are backed up quite a bit there, as you can see on I-75 at Stanley Avenue. So if you're heading south towards downtown Dayton, you definitely want to maybe find an alternate route, maybe hit Dixie and move around this. But it's unclear exactly how long this is going to be a mess. Just keep that in mind, though, as you head out the door. We will continue to bring you updates from the Breaking News Center all morning long. To get breaking news push alerts sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app in Google Play and Apple App Stores.
We are looking at right now a kind of showery morning, but nothing that screams imminent that we're going to get pounded with heavy rain. It's just one of those days where it's not going to be particularly that nice. As for temperatures, very similar to yesterday with upper 50s and low 60s. Maybe we're just not seeing as many upper 50s, but for all intents and purposes, this is shaping up to be nearly a repeat. The only thing I could say that's different is yesterday we had the open portion of the low, and today we have the closed. So it's almost like we have the backside of the low, which in theory does keep temperatures suppressed, but yesterday we never quite warmed up. So I think today upper 60s, maybe a couple 70s, if we could get any type of clear skies or maybe just an extended period where we're not dealing with rain. Either way, today is going to be a very much so kind of day to be outside.
In 2023, reports of child online exploitation increased 12%. Now, experts are sounding the alarm, calling for more to be done to protect your children. The National Desk Jeff Harris joins us to explain.
To put that into perspective, last year there were more than 36 million reports made to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children cyber tip line, a number experts want to help decrease.
Lisa Hansen is not only a mom of 3 and grandmother to 7, she's also the founder of Mothers Against Child Exploitation and Power Over Predators.
Power Over Predators exists to prevent, identify, rescue, and restore children from all forms of exploitation.
Hansen tells us at any given time, there can be 500,000 child predators online, lurking on various social media sites for kids to groom.
Predators use what's most important to us as individuals to gain access to our trust.
According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, last year reports of child online exploitation increased by 12%, something cybersecurity expert Scott White says has a lot to do with access to different types of technology.
So it's inevitable that we're going to get predators who are moving to that particular platform, the online platform, to exploit children.
Now, when it comes to prevention, spokesperson for the National Police Association, Betsy Brantner Smith, tells us parents need to be extra vigilant about what their kids are doing online.
Stop thinking that your 11-year-old or your 16-year-old needs privacy when it comes to their smart devices.
And making sure your kids know what manipulation looks like is a conversation Hansen says every parent should have.
You really want to have those connections with your kids by teaching manipulation and how predators use what's most important to you to gain access to your trust.
The majority of the 36 million reports filed last year were related to child sexual abuse material, but there was also a rise in financial sextortion and the use of generative AI in child sexual exploitation. I'm Jeff Harris reporting from Washington.
Our time right now is 6:14. We're learning more about the boat malfunction that led to the Baltimore Bridge collapse in March. What federal investigators are saying next.
You're watching Your Day. We're following breaking traffic news as we come on at this time. You can see there a semi blocking traffic there on I-75 at State Route 4, creating quite the headaches. You can see tons of flashing lights out there. It appears that traffic is moving slow, though, so things are starting to hum along a little bit there. There is a little bit of an oil spill as well. We will continue to follow this closely for you and bring you updates from the Breaking News Center all morning long. And we will send you breaking news push alerts to your phone as soon as we get any updates for you. You can download it for free in the Apple App Store and Google Play. And the cargo ship that caused the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore had another power outage hours before it's set to leave the port. Federal investigators say a crew member on the dolly accidentally closed an exhaust damper, causing the ship's engine to stall about 10 hours before it left the port. The dolly lost power again and crashed into one of the bridge's support beams. We won't have the final report from regulators for at least a year.
The Justice Department says Boeing violated a 2021 agreement, one that shielded the company from criminal charges related to the fatal crashes involving its 737 MAX aircraft. According to the Justice Department, the airplane manufacturer failed to make the changes that would prevent it from violating federal anti-fraud laws, a condition of the $2.5 billion settlement. The Justice Department says this means Boeing could be subject to prosecution, but the government is still figuring out how to proceed. Boeing responding to the Justice Department's claim, saying they believe they've honored the terms of that agreement and look forward to being able to formally respond to the department.
Here's what we're looking at this morning. Gray sky across the Dayton area. Do have still continuing showers in the region, although a lot of the showers off to the east, and the showers that were over the southern part of Mercer County have fizzled into more just some light rain. This as they continue through the St. Henry, Gibson Township area as compared to Salina, which maybe saw a couple of heavier drops earlier on this morning. As for right now, if you are going to be out and about, do expect periods where we could see showers during the second half of the day. I'm not quite sure if we're going to ever see a period where it's going to come down as consistently hard as it did at times yesterday, but I think that there's going to be the threat of just a pin dot area where you could get a burst of heavy rain. As for today, temperatures upper 60s. Now, you do see low 70s, but that's dependent on any type of, let's say, clearing, not only from the rain, but potentially from the clouds. So for the vast majority, mid to upper 60s, could see a scenario where a couple of us hit 70, where we will see 70s tomorrow. This despite actually a cooler start to your morning by a handful of degrees. We'll be mid 50s and getting into the upper 70s. Still going to be 70s for your Friday, Saturday. By Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we should be able to pop 80 degrees. So it's going to be a warmer start to next week. But just keep in mind, the next few days are going to be a little bit on the cooler side, especially for Wednesday and also potentially for your Friday.
Our time right now is 6:21. The mothers of both Miss USA and Miss Teen USA are now speaking out. Coming up, what they shared just days after their daughters stepped down.
You're watching Your Day. All right, we got a bit of breaking news as we come on the air this morning. This is the traffic situation unfolding right now on southbound 75 near downtown Dayton. Take a look at that top left corner there. You see a semi blocking lanes of traffic heading onto 75 south, and they're currently diverting traffic off of one of the exits there. It looks like State Route 4, but you look at I-75 at Stanley, you can see back up there. They are trying to keep traffic moving, though, the best that they can. It appears that things are moving along slowly, but do expect some detours and some slowdowns as you head out the door. So we will continue to bring you updates from the Breaking News Center all morning long. To get breaking news push alerts sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app in Google Play and Apple App Stores.
Well, time for Pet of the Day, and every once in a while you get a name that you go, I recognize that reference, and Memphis Belle. Of course, the Memphis Belle was the B-17 that flew, I think it was 25 plus missions in the European campaign. And Nathan, correct me if I'm wrong, it is it's the one that they had in the movies, or is the actual Memphis Belle that's at the right, Pat?
It's the actual Memphis
It's the
Belle.
actual Memphis Belle. Okay. I always get those mixed up because I think I saw the one in the movies at another Air and Space Museum. Now, as for today, it is going to be cloudy with some showers moving through the area. Because of that, likely to be upper 60s. I don't really think that we're going to see a lot of 70s, but it is certainly a possibility. I have put yellow pause. This is not a day where you can't get outside. It's just going to be muddy from the rain yesterday, muddy from the rain that's going to be on its way, and just one of those days that's going to be kind of classically cool. And again, thank you to Memphis Belle and her owners for sending a beautiful dog in this morning.
The mothers of a former Miss USA and former Miss Teen USA are speaking publicly. This comes days after Miss USA and Miss Teen USA resigned. They claim their daughters can't speak out due to non-disclosure agreements. Voight's mother said her daughter was approached by a man who asked her if she was, quote, into old men with money. That's in line with Voight's resignation letter, which claimed the organization didn't give her appropriate travel accommodations and left her alone in a car with a stranger.
Scientists say they discovered a phonetic alphabet in whale calls. Now, the researchers did it by using artificial intelligence to analyze thousands of recorded sequences of sperm whale clicks. The findings indicate that the whales can combine click patterns in multiple ways. They do it with a mix and match of phrases to convey a broad range of information to one another. As far as what the whales are saying, it remains a mystery to humans.
Here's something cute to brighten your day. Check out this adult Canada goose leading what appears to be an endless stream of baby geese. Stop, it's so cute. Here's a closer look. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service posted the video on social media. They say Canada geese have a strong parental instincts and will often adopt orphaned or lost gooselings.
Oh, that is cute. Today's poll question, well, here we go. What is your favorite cliche? Oh, I love cliches. Get your answers in right now. Coming up at 6:50, we'll share our answers and take a look at what some of you had to say. You can find it on our Facebook page.
Our time now is 6:27. Ohio could just be a few weeks away from the first legal sale of recreational marijuana. We have the latest on the meetings in Columbus next.
But first, here's Gina Gannon with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
Let me tell you about the most fabulous at-home microdermabrasion device that you can find out there. This is from Dr. Lancer, dermatologist to the stars. He's been in the business for 40 years. This is going to be a way to help make your skin more youthful, get all those dead skin cells off. It's amazing. Let me show you how to use it. I love this. So it's going to come with 2 different diamond tips here. That diamond tip is helping with all of the exfoliation. The smaller head is for your face exfoliation. Then as you're using it, I actually would go an upward pattern and you're going to hear this suction. Well, that's a vacuum suction. Now, when you're done using this, it's going to come with additional filters. You get 200 treatments with this. So you could do what Dr. Lancer does to all his celebrity clients in the comfort of your own home. It's going to leave your skin more radiant. Your makeup's going to stay on better. Your skincare will be able to seep and penetrate in. You're going to find this is the ultimate if you're just trying to age-defy your skin and really make it be the best it can. But I love that you are doing something that is not only good for your skin, but it's going to make it look really good as well. Microdermabrasion is sought after. Everyone tries to do it. And this is the same device that Dr. Lancer uses at his Beverly Hills office, you can do it at your own house. And it's available today at 51% off. Go to asadeals.com.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Melena Brown. Alex is off this morning. We have 3 stories to get your day started. Get ready to bend and snap. Nathan, the demonstration.
I don't know. Is it like this?
Don't crack anything or break anything.
My aching back.
Reese Witherspoon will produce a Legally Blonde prequel series. Elle follows Elle Woods through her time in high school.
You know, this was not, I mean, it was a good movie, but like I was not obsessed over this.
I mean, you're not a girl.
There you go. I was more like Superbad.
Fair.
That was great.
Fair. I mean, this came out before Superbad.
Did it? Yeah, it did. I don't know. Good for, I mean, Reese Witherspoon's a treasure. I'll take it.
I'm sure our producer, Kelsey, will love this.
Oh, for sure. And King Charles just unveiled the first portrait of himself since the coronation. The abstract painting shows the king in the uniform of Welsh Guards. Let's see if we can show it right here. Against a red backdrop and a butterfly landing on his shoulder. Queen Camilla says the artist captured her husband.
I'm glad we can't see it actually. Oh, no.
It's vicious.
I don't like it
I think, why would you go with red? Like, there's so many other great colors, like purple.
I do like, you mentioned the monarch on the monarch. I think that's a really good play, but this whole red thing is just not, I don't know.
It's the blood on the hands of the royals.
You said it, not me.
There you go.
A customer in Pittsburgh says their local McDonald's is now charging for refills. Ridiculous. But don't worry, it's not a nationwide policy. A rep for the company says charging for refills is left up to the individual restaurants.
I think it's a well-known fact that their pop is the best.
Oh yeah, their Coke is crazy.
Have you
Coca-Cola,
Have you seen like why it's so much better?
Isn't there, I heard that the syrup that they get is different than anyone else.
It's kept in titanium chilled containers. And like they have like all these special things.
Their
filtered
Sprite
water.
will shock you.
It's just,
I love like, oh, their Sprite is so
just
good.
Wake you right up.
Yeah. All right, here's a live look over Dayton this morning. Unfortunately, we are waking up to some rain. Not good for my hair, not good for our mental health.
This is why I don't have much hair, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Sure. Let's check in with meteorologist Nick Maruziak, who is also a little follically challenged, just like me.
I'm not follically challenged. It's just thinning hair, okay? Like, you and my mom both have gotten me on about that the last few weeks. Anyway, look, there is still some showers outside. It's not particularly that really downpouring in around the Dayton area, but we do have at least a couple of showers in the Miami Valley that have produced a burst or two. As for this morning, it'll be low 60s and mid to upper 60s. We still are going to contend with the threat of rain across the area, but by and large, the morning should just be overcast. As for the second half of the day, scattered showers and perhaps a period or two where we could eke out just a little bit of blue sky across the area. I really don't think we're going to see much in a way, but if we do, temperatures may be capable of hitting 70 degrees. Now, if you are traveling this morning, one big issue, I-75 South is completely shut down near State Road 4. I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit because the ODOT camera is out. You can see traffic not flowing at all on I-75. Instead, I believe what they're doing is diverting traffic onto the State Road 4 exit. Obviously, we are here at, 6:35 in the morning, so not even in the heart of the morning commute, and traffic is backed up pretty heavily towards Stanley Ave. Where it is moving is the contraflow lane, so as soon as you can, if you can, get in that contraflow lane because that is moving and doesn't look to be affected by the crash. But again, if you're in the right two lanes, I-75 southbound and heading into downtown, you're likely to encounter a very big delay. If you can, take Dixie.
New video into our newsroom shows the moments a security guard escaped being shot. Now, we want to show you video from the Amazon warehouse near Columbus. While no one was hurt, we do want to warn you, the video may be disturbing. Now, the guard had been training the shooter 2 weeks before the shooting. You can see the shooter, Ali Hamza Youssef, pointing a gun at the guard. The victim told dispatchers he had been shot at twice, but the shooter missed. One officer was injured in the shootout. With the suspect, that officer is now out of the hospital.
Ohio could just be a few weeks away from the first legal sale of recreational marijuana. A joint committee in Columbus just gave the green light to the state's dual licensing program. That'll let current medical marijuana dispensaries sell recreational pot. Kaveh Adze, the co-founder of King City Gardens, has been at those meetings with lawmakers. He says while September is when all recreational sales go live, this change will let current dispensaries to sell recreational as soon as June 14th. Today, one of the state's largest cannabis companies is planting its first recreational cannabis crop. Cresco Labs in Yellow Springs is about to plant 1,000 seedlings of different strands in their indoor greenhouse. They expect to produce more than 400 pounds of plant material to be sold across the state.
A new report from the FBI shows assaults on law enforcement reached a 10-year high last year. Researchers say there were more than 79,000 officer attacks in 2023. At least 466 of those involved firearms. 10 years ago, that number was under 200. Over the last 10 years, the average officer who was assaulted had nearly 12 years experience on the job. Between 2019 and 2023, more than 230 officers were accidentally killed in the line of duty. Most died in car crashes or by being hit by a vehicle.
A whistleblower is now saying the EPA made mistakes during the fiery East Palestine train derailment. The whistleblower tells the Associated Press the agency's specialized plane could have given important information about the disaster immediately after it happened, adding it would have prevented the controlled explosion. The NTSB has since determined it wasn't necessary. Instead, the plane collected data after the vent and burn 4 days after the crash. EPA officials declared success after the plane did not find many chemicals in the air.
Our time right now is 6:38. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of the screen all morning long, even during commercials.
The 2024 tornado season has the second most reported tornadoes to date on record. We'll take a look at the numbers next.
You're watching Your Day.
All right, we are following a bit of breaking news at this hour. You're taking a live look at I-75. Our photographer Les giving us a closer look at the crash that has been causing issues southbound as you head into downtown Dayton. That is a semi-truck. They're working to get upright. There's also a bit of an oil spill as well, blocking all lanes of traffic heading that way. You can see, though, that the auxiliary lane there is allowing some cars to get through at this point, and you can see that there on our ODOT cameras as well. Now they are working to get people around this mess the best that they can, but if you are heading towards downtown Dayton at this hour, do expect some delays. You can see it backing up at this point to I-75 at Stanley, so just keep that in mind as you head out the door. And of course, we will continue to bring you updates from the Breaking News Center all morning long. And of course, to get breaking news push alerts sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app in Google Play and Apple App Stores.
Experts say the 2024 tornado season has the second most reported tornadoes to date on record. That's according to the Storm Prediction Center, saying there have been at least 781 tornado reports through May 13th. That stands behind only 2011, which had more than 1,300 by this date. Records go back to 1950, and according to the center, the average number of tornado reports through May 13th is 620, making this year well above average.
Yeah, and I was just trying to look it up. Ohio has had a very active season. You go back to, what was it, late February? I want to say that we had our first. Yeah, we've had multiple in Mercer County. You've had Clark County. You've also had, let's see, Champaign County's had one. And even, you know, don't forget, we had the one at the Right Pat where it knocked down the fence. So it's been very active just about everywhere.
Yeah. And I think it was a couple of weeks ago, we reported that we have as many as Oklahoma, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, and actually, I was going to check the numbers on that, see where they are today. But we were at the point where we were, you know, pretty high up, considering, you know, the size of Texas versus the size of Ohio. Also, climatology. It's pretty impressive that Ohio has had so many.
Yeah.
Hopefully not many more.
Exactly.
Yeah. Our time right now is 6:44, still to come. Here's a live look at the poll question today. What's your favorite cliche? Get your answers into our Facebook page. Digital producer Max joins us with a look at what some of you had to say.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeffschman Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
This early morning sun was spotted with a sundog to the left and the right in the Asheville area. Sundogs form when sunlight shines through ice crystals and high cirrus clouds. The light bends or refracts and forms the bright spots on the sides. These two resemble parentheses. In the Green Bay area, it was a hazy sunrise Monday due to drifting smoke from wildfires in Canada.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
All right, we are continuing to follow breaking news here. You're taking a live look at I-75 southbound, just near downtown Dayton, and you can see that they're currently trying to get a semi up right there. There's an oil spill as well. This is going to cause a backup for a while longer, and it has for a while already this morning. We want to show you the ODOT cameras right now. You can see most of those main lanes blocked off. That's a little deceptive here because you could see traffic flowing on both sides of this. Well, on the right side there, that's where you have the auxiliary lane going through, so just single car traffic. Then on the other side, they're diverting traffic off to State Route 4. So clearly going to be causing you some delays. Try to work around this if you can. A good idea, maybe take Main Street Dixie to work around that, but you definitely want to prepare for some backups this morning. We will continue to bring you updates from the Breaking News Center all morning long. To get breaking news push alerts sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app in Google Play and Apple App Stores.
Still gray outside this morning, but there is a glimmer of light. That's something that we really didn't see much of yesterday. We could actually see it again during the afternoon and evening. One of the reasons that we do expect it to be upper 60s, if not low 70s, is a lot of the day will be gray with showers cooling us off. We do pop some sunshine, could get a quick rise into the 70s. Speaking of the 70s, tomorrow 77, mix of sun and clouds, back down into the mid 70s for Friday and Saturday as we do get more rain, then a quick rebound to 80 degrees Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. It is going to be, a quieter period upcoming, but kind of unsettled. And as the old cliche goes, weathermen, they're always right.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Is that really a cliche? He's like, no. Anyways, Max, what's our poll question today?
We're talking cliches. Nathan, what is your favorite cliche?
I had to think about this. I think I use cliches so common in my speaking that I don't even think about it, to be honest with you. So I really thought through. I like kid in a candy store. Yeah, I feel like a kid in a candy store right now. Also, is what it is like a very, very common phrase that is used very often in this newsroom.
That's true. I love it is what it is too. I didn't think of that, but I put the grass is always greener on the other side and comparison is the thief of joy. Because you should just love yourself and love your life.
Second one's too deep to be cliche. That's
I was gonna say that's very deep.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you only get one life, so just love it.
Okay, other than weatherman's always right, what?
Throw enough stuff at the mall and something will stick. I think that's appropriate for a newsroom where it's like, well, I have ideas of how to do something. Then you also have everything is everything. I think that's it. And one of my favorite cliches, another day in paradise. Facts.
I get yelled at a lot in the newsroom for this. I will often say, what could possibly go wrong?
That's like jinxing everybody.
Yeah, I know. I say it all the time.
Yeah.
And people always say, no!
Yeah,
So,
Max, no. And you just jinxed us this morning. Thank you.
Thanks.
Go chime in right now on Facebook. For now, our time right now is 6:52. You're watching Your Day.
We begin this morning with breaking news. Southbound I-75 is closed at State Route 48.
You're taking a live look at the scene right now. Our photographer Les just pulled over on the side of the highway here to give us a closer look at this crash. You can see a semi-truck trying to be lifted up. There's an oil spill as well. Let's take a look at those ODOT cameras if we can here, because that'll give you a wider view of the crash. And you can see there that, well, I guess that camera got switched around a little bit or zoomed out, and it is creating quite the headache. We are now seeing traffic backed up to Wagner Ford. Let's go back down to the ground crews there. You can see that this angle looks like they're diverting traffic onto Route 4 or even off to the Webster Kiwi Street exit. There is a single lane that you can see there still moving along okay, but it is certainly causing backups at this hour and taking a while to get cleaned up.
Of course, we'll continue to bring you updates from the Breaking News Center all morning long. To get breaking news push alerts sent directly to your phone, you can download our Dayton 24/7 app in Google Play or Apple App Stores.
The man arrested in connection with human legs being found in Trotwood's now pleading not guilty. 53-year-old Edgar Kiter Jr. was in court just yesterday. Kiter Jr. is facing multiple charges, including gross abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and theft. He remains in the Montgomery County Jail on a $500,000 bond.
We now know the name of the man that was shot and killed in Coroners have identified him as 67-year-old Leo August. His son, Justin August, is now facing charges of murder and felonious assault in connection to his death. The 35-year-old remains in Montgomery County Jail on a $1 million bond. He will be back in court next Monday.
RI International announced it will no longer provide mental health crisis services for Adamus. That includes a 24/7 crisis call center, a mobile assessment team, and short-term behavioral health crisis care. Their contract was supposed to end at the end of the month, but they're now stopping next Wednesday. Commissioners clarified that they don't directly fund RI International's contract. The money comes from Human Services, levy funding, plus federal and state grants. Adamus's executive director says in part, quote, "We encourage residents in need to continue using these services." Adamus is currently communicating with multiple providers for the seamless transition of services.
115 in Dayton is continuing their mission of giving people hope by building a new recovery house for men.
Kasha Hancock shares the impact it'll have on our area.
115 tells me they're extremely excited about the new recovery house here on Hopeland Street. They say this has been years in the making. The outpatient clinic says there is a huge need for recovery housing, not just here in Dayton, but across the state. They tell me Ohio is only meeting 31% of its recovery housing need. The more than 2,200 square foot house will be an energy efficient home serving men who are recovering from substance use disorders by offering all of 115 services.